March 22nd, would you join me for the salute to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody, thank you and welcome. First item on our agenda this morning is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting of March 8th, 2022.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, we need to approve the bills. Rob?
The general fund, $6,782,072.79. Liquid fuels fund, $3,000. Hazardous materials fund, $1,371.86. 911 fund, $7,463.26. Domestic relations, $9,302.69. Government youth, $438,000 for a total of $7,241,806.94.
Thank you, Rob. Any questions for the controller? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Just give us a second to put their signatures on it. Alrighty. Whoops, there we go, Rob. Thank you. Okay, very good. We have some personnel issues for our consideration this morning. Under new hires, we have a secretary at the Du Bois Magisterial, at the Office of the Magisterial District in Du Bois, effective Deputy Warden of Operations, County Jail, effective March 14th, 2022. Department Clerk 2 in the Clerk of Court's Office, effective March 28th, 2022. And a caseworker at Children and Youth Services, effective March 4th, 2022. We will transfer an administrative assistant in the Tax Assessment Office to position of field assessor in the Tax Assessment Office, effective March 22nd, 2022. We have one item under separations, retirements, Department Clerk 2 in the Clerk of Court's Office, effective April 1st, 2022. And I have nothing under miscellaneous or requests for leave under the Family Medical Leave Act. Unless there are some other changes that the board is aware of, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the personnel changes as stated.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? I don't see anyone. I have nothing under old business. Under new business, first item on the agenda, we have Kara McGarry here along with Kelsey Vitullo here to talk to us about request to proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Clearfield County. So ladies, you have the floor.
So at Children's Aid Society, we offer different programs such as parents with teachers, our in-home services, and then we have Triple P in our nurturing classes. We do supervise visits in our department as well. We have partnered up with Kelsey and CYS over the last few years, I would say even before I got here, to help prevent child abuse. Triple P services, in-home services, and parents with teachers are all put in the home as preventative service to prevent child abuse. So Kelsey and I would like to proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Okay, thank you. Kelsey, do you have anything you'd like to say? Okay. Guys, do you have a proclamation for us to consider? Okay, thank you. Well, certainly one can't discuss a more important cause, so we certainly appreciate your being here. And I should have mentioned this is a presentation by the Children's Aid Society and by our Children Youth Services Agency also. Okay, well, it gives me great pleasure to read the proclamation of the record, and we'll take a vote on it. And I'll do it in abbreviated form. This is a proclamation by the Clearfield County Commissioners to declare April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Clearfield County, April 2022, of course. Children's Aid Society has been able to partner with Clearfield County in order to increase the efforts to prevent child abuse within our communities. The program that we are offering is to help prevent child abuse would be Triple P, Parents as Teachers, In-Home Services, and Nurturing. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in our society affecting many children in Clearfield County, and whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect, it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood. Our communities are stronger when citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe environment. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Therefore, we, the Commissioners of Clearfield County, Pennsylvania, hereby proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Clearfield County and call upon all citizens, agencies, medical facilities, elected leaders, businesses to increase their participation efforts to support families, therefore preventing child abuse and strengthening the community in which we live. Okay, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion that we proclaim April 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Clearfield County.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Guys, just let us sign this. Ladies, did you want to take one with me?
Yeah,
As soon as
like, can we
Dave's-
get a picture?
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. I forgot about
And then I
that.
forgot to mention, if you guys, everyone could wear blue on April 1st to kick off Child Abuse Prevention Month, just to say that you represent it and agree and support us.
Very good. Thank you. You wanna-
You take a blind post
Oh.
behind you.
The other one.
There we go. There we go.
Uh-oh. You got it?
Dave and I already wore our blue stuff.
Yeah.
You have three, have one.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for all you
much.
do.
Absolutely. And guys, you're more than welcome to stick around, but I know you're both very busy, so you don't have to.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would too. Okay. Next item on the agenda, we have Jim Chorney, and along with a guest, and Jim, if you'd introduce her, once we allow you to take the floor here, but they're from North Central Pennsylvania Regional Planning and Development Commission, and you're going to give us a presentation this morning. So the floor is
We're
yours.
going to talk a little bit about some new programs that we have running, but first I'd like to introduce Sherry Dumeyer. She is our new ARC EDA director. She will be coordinating with local communities to provide technical assistance for anybody that's interested in applying for state and federal grants. So before I talk about our program with Sherry, just a chance to talk about, she's been with us about a month now, and talk a little bit about what she's been doing so far.
Like Jim said, I've been with North Central for a month, and what we're currently working on is our call for projects, where we're asking municipalities and, to just submit, like if they have projects coming up, that they need funding for, they have partial funding for it, need additional funding, just to submit, project intake forms to us, and we'll take a look at it and see if we can help them match up to some funding. That's what I've been working on.
Thank you.
And that kind of rolls into a new program that we're actually starting to implement. Actually, we hired the person April 4th is their first day of work. We're calling it our community capacity position, and it kind of falls into what Sherry was just talking about with our call for projects. Typically, if you've dealt with North Central, you know that we do infrastructure projects, building projects, things of that nature. But there's been a lot of the areas in those services that we don't provide as far as grant writing and what I would consider like enhanced grant services. This new community capacity position is to address those types of issues. One thing that we've learned as all of these federal dollars, especially the ARPA dollars that came out to the local small municipalities, is that number one, there was a lot of the municipalities that didn't necessarily want to apply or were interested in applying because they were concerned about the work that went along with it, weren't sure about how to identify projects, and a lot of the administrative work that goes along with it. So, our attempt to help try to address that issue, we approached ARC, so I talked a lot now, the Appalachian Regional Commission, about potentially funding a project like that, and with the support of the North Central Board and all of our 6 county that we represent, we were able to put an application in. We actually became very fortunate because they decided to fund the application in full for a 2-year pilot program. So this position will be addressing those enhanced grant services that we're talking about. So what we're doing is we're doing a call for projects to see what kind of projects are out there, even projects that we wouldn't typically work with in the past. Then reaching out to those individuals, trying to either connect them with the appropriate funding sources, or if necessary, helping them with grant writing or grant administration, whatever those services might be. So that is a new project that we're working on right now. As of April 4th, we'll have a new staff person in to start addressing those issues, and we hope to have a lot really good outreach on this program. So we're asking anybody that within the community that is looking at applying for dollars and maybe don't necessarily know where to look, what's out there, please reach out to us. It's on North Central's website at ncentral.com, where you can go in and actually fill out a very simple 2-page survey, and then we'll have somebody reach out to that individual or that group and try to assist them in getting whatever services they need.
This is timely because we just completed a survey that we had asked all our municipalities for any projects that they might have going on. We have those results. We have to now go through them, but I'm sure there'll be some projects in there that may be of interest and possibly eligible for some help from you.
One of the areas that we've talked about in the past and may be of interest to the commissioners as well is I know that with the Recovery Act dollars that there's I'll call it an exemption, I don't know if that's necessarily what they're referring to, with the lost revenue that allows you more freedom with your dollars.
Which we're taking advantage of.
And what we're
Bet we
hoping
are.
for is that we can work with you on even some of these applications, and maybe even leverage federal dollars to go along with some of the money that you have, so basically double the money that you have.
We don't know exactly what we're going to do yet to help. We want to help, but what we really want is to find partnerships like this that maybe make sense, where they put some money in, we put some money in. We then use that as a matching piece in coordination with you, perhaps, to find a grant to make, instead of 2 or 3 projects and we're out of money, that we can maybe fund 15 or 20 across our county with the help of. And so what you're doing, I think, and not just for us, I'm sure every county in North Central, it's really, really timely to be doing it now. So.
And the opportunity's there because there are a lot of funding opportunities out there right now. It's just understanding what the qualifications are, and we understand that a lot of our small municipalities, you have staff that work after hours that may work in multiple municipalities and don't have the time to be able to do this. So that's the whole rationale behind this position, and ARC has at least committed to us that after this 2-year period, if they see a value in it, we can show the results, that they would consider funding it long term.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I can tell you from personal experience, you're absolutely right. With the smaller municipalities, it's very daunting. It's a very daunting task for them to apply for the monies, and also just to be able to keep the. There's so many funding sources now. It's hard to keep all of that straight. So I certainly intend to put the word out to my clients that I'm solicitor for, and Clearfield County certainly will do that too. But that will be very, very, very helpful. So thank you for that. I agree with.
We'll
what-
keep you busy.
Yeah, believe me, we will. So thank you. But okay, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to partnering with you and North Central as far as getting some relationships set up with our smaller municipalities. So thank you. And again, just like I said to the young ladies, you're welcome to stick around. But I know how busy you are. You certainly don't have to. So thank you. Okay. Next item, we have to award bids for printing of election ballots. We have Dawn Graham here. Dawn, do you want to go ahead? Or Heather, take it away.
Oh, so at our last meeting, we did open bids for our election ballots. There were 3 submissions that were provided. If you recall, the lowest bid was from Phoenix Graphics out of New York. They were for 20 cents. I do believe this is the first time we've received a bid from them, so we did just want to review it to make sure it complied with our bid requirements and make sure there were no points of clarification. Dawn did call to confirm the 20-cent price is all-inclusive, so there's no additional fees that are anticipated on there, and we did confirm that. As far as their submission, they did comply with all requirements that we asked for. They have been certified by ES&S within the last 2 years. They also provided references that they've had long-standing relationships with. According to kind of their specs, they've been in business since 1984. It looks to me as though they're maybe expanding into Pennsylvania. For the most part, they've done some work out near Philadelphia, Chester, and Montgomery counties through there. So as far as the bid itself, like I said, it complies with everything we've asked for in review of it. It is the lowest bid at this point. So I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have about the bid. And then, like I said, we did just confirm the 20 cents, and that's for all 3 requests that we had made in there for that. So.
Well, I'm just glad it checked out, because, I mean, they were significantly lower than others.
Yeah.
And Dawn, Heather, this is one I can vote on, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, very good. Unless there's something else, I'll entertain a motion then based on the solicitor's research and explanation, along with certainly a big assist from the election office, that we award the printing of election ballots to Phoenix Ballots. Is that the name of it?
Phoenix Graphics.
Phoenix Graphics.
Graphics.
Okay, Phoenix Graphics.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Okay, now, item 4, this is probably where I should have called on Dawn. Dawn, thank you. We've already had a presentation, of course, from Dawn at an earlier meeting about relocating the Coalport Borough polling place with Beccaria Township, and also Grampian Borough, Beccaria Township first, and Grampian Borough with Penn Township, as proposed. Coalport, which is currently at the Coalport Firemen's Hall, would relocate to St. Basil's Hall in Coalport, Pennsylvania. Of course, there's 2 different districts. And Penn Township, which is currently located in the Sinclair Child Services Building in Walltown Road in Grampian, would relocate to St. Bonaventure Church on Main Street in Grampian, if I have that correctly. Both, of course, are necessary due to the lack of poll workers. Dawn, did you have anything else that you wanted to add or explain at this time?
No, I mean, they're, both of the relocations are to current polling locations, so, you know, as far as accessibility and everything, it meets all standards. So,
Okay.
you know, and we've had them there before because of the lack of poll workers.
Did
This
you
is just going to be a permanent move as opposed to a temporary move.
Okay. Did you receive any objections from the
No.
general voting public? Okay, thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion that we make the that we approve the appropriate relocations, and I guess there is a news release that you have for the press, correct, Dawn?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll entertain a motion to that effect, guys.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need the next item, open bids for the Bosch DIP server. It looks like we got one bid here. All righty. We have one bid from the phone guys. Total of $33,969.46. Includes a license for 9 clients for Computer Connect. 32 cameras out of box, additional licenses to cover all cameras, 98 or more, for a total of 130 cameras. Unit comes with 64 TB pre-installed. Dave and Adam probably know what that means. I don't. Okay. That is it. I guess at this point, we give this to Heather, to you.
I can review. I'd also possibly ask for assistance from Adam to make sure as far as the technical requirements they meet it. I think it was discussed that that system had to have very specific criteria for it. If that's-
Okay, very good. Thanks, guys. You'll report back to us then, so. All right, next item is we're to consider a master professional services agreement with TRC. Heather.
Yes, this agreement for TRC, it would be in place of the GAI consultants agreement that we had used previously. This is for our bridge services. I did have an opportunity to review the agreement. There were a few points of clarification and requested changes that I had made to TRC. One was the effective date of our agreement. They're asking for a retroactive date back to January 1st. As well as there was a concern over their choice of law being in Hartford, Connecticut versus Pennsylvania. And finally, a requirement of the controller's office to wire funds as opposed to a check payment. So I have reached out to TRC. I've not received a final response back. What I would suggest this morning is either to table the agreement, or if you would want to approve it pending final approval based on the changes, we can do that way as well. But I would like just get clarification, like I said, on that effective date. It may be that they keep all their agreements at the same date. Obviously, it doesn't impact us too much. It did call for just a one-year agreement with some automatic renewals. There's termination language in there that all meets what we normally look for, but I did have a few concerns, like I said, just of a few provisions that I asked for changes on.
Okay, well, Chief Clerk and Deputy Solicitor, how quickly do you need to get this done? And Chief Cook and Bottle Washer as well as Bridge Person. So.
Well, we won't have another commissioners meeting until April
7:30?
12.
Okay.
12, okay.
12th. Can we?
Approve it pending solicitor.
And they're not major changes, they're just two, and like I said, the one clarification was just for the date. There is no harm to the county of backdating it, shortens our agreement, so if we would for any reason want to terminate, I don't have an issue with that, I just wanted to clarify the reasons why, so that is absolutely acceptable.
Okay. Well, then, can I have a motion to approve the Master Professional Services Agreement with TRC Engineering? Is that correct? Well, it's an engineering firm, I know that, so.
TRC companies is how they have it phrased. I'm sorry.
Okay. Pending and contingent upon or pending final approval by resolution, approval by the solicitor, being assured that the issues that she's concerned about are resolved to her satisfaction.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consider coordination agreement with Systems Access and Management, Inc. Sam.
We actually approved a similar, almost actually identical agreement for CYS at our March 8th meeting. This one is just for our probation and parole services. Again, this is a standard agreement that we do with SAM, so that's been approved as to its form this morning.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion that we approve the coordination agreement with SAM?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We do have a request that, for our consideration, that Dana Dillon, who's a resident of Clearfield County, be appointed to the Clearfield County Public Library Board. I'll entertain a motion that we appoint Dana Dillon to the Clearfield County Public Library Board.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Do we know what town Dana is from? She's from the house.
Curwensville.
Curwensville. From Curwensville, Pennsylvania. Okay, thank you. For our consideration and collaboration agreement with PeerStar LLC.
This is similar. Every year we update for the records, just a collaboration with PeerStar. This is with CYS, basically stating that we will share reciprocal information in compliance with any HIPAA guidelines and regulations. That's been approved as to its form this morning.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the collaboration agreement with PeerStar LLC.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
We also have for our consideration a purchase of service agreement with Harbor Creek Youth Services.
This is our standard purchase of service agreement. It would be for the July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022 fiscal year. This, I believe, is our first agreement with Harbor Creek. However, juvenile probation did reach out to CYS. They do have an individual that needs to be placed. Harbor Creek is an appropriate facility. So this agreement would allow us to place that juvenile there. And again, it is our standard purchase of service agreement. So it's been approved as to its form as well.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the purchase of service agreement with Harbor Creek Youth Services as explained by the solicitor.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did you want to go before or after?
I don't care. You tell me.
Oh, why don't we do solicitor first?
Okay.
Heather, solicitor's report.
A little bit of old news now. I know we've waited a long time to get clarification from the state as far as the election suits and circulation. They did finally, on March 16th, issue an order for the General Assembly and the state party commissions that those petitions can be circulated March 18th through March 28th. So they did extend a little bit on the back end there. But that was kind of the final one we were waiting for. We're still in limbo on a couple of our other litigation matters involving the Berthognetary, that statewide lawsuit, and are hoping to have an update on that one here soon. But once that decision's been made, I'll update you with the same.
Okay, thank you. And that's everything then?
That is all for today.
Okay, thank you, Heather. And Dave, I know you have something for the good of the order.
Yeah,
Some
just
information.
basically, and I just came up because I just came back from the CCAP conference, so it's not a voting matter, but I did want to at least start to discuss broadband. And that was a big topic down at the CCAP meeting. They spent all day Sunday was devoted to kind of poster discussions with counties that have already started down this process and talking about what they did, and I brought back a lot of information. But the one thing that was pretty much true of every county that's gotten anywhere with this is that they've determined, usually via a study, a countywide study, where their needs are. And the FCC, and I knew this going in, the FCC maps are garbage because all they do is they go by a census tract, and if one house has good service, they say the whole tract has good service, which we know is not true. So every county I talked to said you need to put the effort in to find out where you have problems. Now, some of the areas we know because our citizens have told us, but other areas we don't know. And so, and Jefferson just contracted with a local company out of Punxsutawney actually to conduct this study, and that same group has done Perry County. I talked to York County, I talked to Mifflin County, I talked to Greene County, Center County. So at some point in the future, I'm going to bring a request that we put out an RFP to at least do the study, because all this money's coming down, and all these other counties are getting positioned so that when the money's there, they'll say, okay, we want to do A, B, C, and D. We don't even know where, we can't fix what we don't know is broken. We know it's broken, we just don't know where. So I just wanted to put that on your radar, that this is, it's kind of time to really start moving on this.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And obviously, if we want to keep moving ahead in the 21st century, we obviously have to, and since we have some money available that we can apply to it, obviously we want to improve broadband in the county. Tony, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, definitely. Same. Echo.
I think our IT director wants to say something
Yeah.
about this.
I didn't see that.
Remember last year, we have that North Central survey that's online, that they can also go online and put in information in problem areas to determine their upload and download speeds, could go and jive with what Dave was saying.
I think
That survey is actually still on our website, but I agree with Dave 100%.
I think that's useful, but I think what other counties are finding is that not everybody will volunteer to do it. You actually have to do a little more outreach. So I'm not discrediting what you're doing at all, but
Actually, I was going to make a comment because we're involved with what Jefferson County is doing right now. And the consultant that they hired out front is actually coordinating services where they're reaching out to all of the internet service providers in the region, trying to get that information along with, and we're providing the information that Steve was talking about as far as the speed testing. We provided that to them, and they're going to utilize that along with information from Windstream and any of the other providers that happen to be in the region. And they're gonna try to coordinate services, and we agree that's what's needed, is somebody to, instead of overbuilding networks above another competitor, take whoever's in there and can provide the service and provide the service to those individuals. So we are fully in support of that, and we will participate as much as we can possibly participate. As you know, Ed's pretty much like a resident expert when it comes to the wireless side of it, but, you know, we've always proclaimed that, you know, we're not the end game when it comes to this, but we definitely want to be there to help serve those people that are very difficult to reach. So whatever you decide, we would gladly participate.
Well, and certainly with, you know, the trend now towards folks working out of their homes and running home businesses, obviously broadband is going to be extremely important if we want to.
Well, if you want young people to stay.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this was talked about a lot down there, and I believe it. Anybody under my age, it's just like if you don't have electricity in the house, they won't buy the house. If you don't have good broadband, they're not going to buy the house.
Yeah.
They're not. And so that's the way we have to look at it. It's that important
Yeah.
to keep people here.
Well, I know just in the past year, I've got two members of my own family, both of whom are younger than me, that now, post-pandemic, their job has changed in that they're able to work from home remotely significantly more than they were before. So with the developments, of course, the pandemic necessitated. So you're absolutely right. And they're of those generations that's very important. That wireless access is very important too. So that's absolutely right. I agree.
So more to come, but I definitely wanted to bring that up.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Is there anything else for the good of the order, guys? Okay, there being none, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So move.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.